Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Okay, after that last reading, I sort of do wonder whether I even read on this one because it just feels incredibly irrelevant. But I will anyhow. So what's happening? Just very quickly. The doctor, fabulous. I changed doctors at the particular practice, and now I feel like actually being heard and being proactive, and you actually exit the doctor's surgery feeling like you've actually achieved something. She's putting me on some actual cream instead of me trying to work it out for myself. A different cream, one that's prescribed, plus some tablets and some advice and also the B12 under the tongue spray. So yeah, apparently they will get worse before they get better, and I think what's happening is that yes, things will get worse before they get better is pretty much metaphorical at the moment, but we can see the end is what I'm really getting, and it's going to be crunch out the other side, and then it's the repairing, picking up the holy smokes thereafter. What I'm really getting, and I did wonder for a while why I was getting Argentina as the flee option for these oligarchs, is because I'm getting the Middle East is no longer on the table for them. They really messed up the US regime, overpromised, underdelivered, and yeah, it's just turning into an absolute shite show over there at the moment. Just very quickly, the female Iranian football team has those that wanted have been granted asylum in Australia. That was an Australian thing, despite the orange twerp claiming it was all him. I've been posting a lot of stuff in my post section over the last couple of days. The US military hospital in Germany apparently is taking on casualties. Some of the staff there are putting out videos in regards to that. And Penguin X reported that there was some military aircraft arrived back in the, can't tell you what Air Force Base it was, must have been Andrews, I think off the top of my head, Andrews Air Force Base, and patient transfer vehicles going to Walter Reed. So please, please, please just know that the regime in the US and the media in the US are not reporting what is going on. Seek your information from outside the US. What I actually want to have, and Witkoff and Kushner, so Wit and Cuff, Wit and Cuff, let me just say, Kush and Wit have cancelled their scheduled trip to see Yahoo. So there's been a falling out there as well. So what I want to have a look at in this particular reading is, it seems so not relevant now, but I'll still do a reading on it. And as I was shuffling and split the deck, got the Eight of Cups, this emotional overwhelming in regards to partnerships that are now at an end, stabbed in the back, betrayed partnerships, very possibly in regards to oil or water. Yeah, they're done. They're done. Face plant, stabbed in the back. Okay, but what I want to have a look at is the Shield of America's meeting. Had their inaugural meeting the other day at Dural, so rest assured the American taxpayer got billed for that particular meeting. Who was in attendance? So Trinidad and Tobago, Paraguay, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Guyana, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Honduras, and Chile. What was very telling was who was not in attendance. So all those governments are very right-leaning governments. Some of them, like Ecuador, had very dubious elections recently, as did Argentina. The ones not in attendance: Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Honduras, Panama, Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, and multiple of the Caribbean islands, like lots and lots of the Caribbean islands, went in attendance. Now, Cuba, not surprised. Haiti, not surprised. But Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Panama, Honduras, and Nicaragua said, no, thank you, we're not interested. Yeah, not interested in being part of this lunacy with the moon card on the bottom there. So I want to have a look at, the throwing under the bus, the infighting, the lunacy of this path that some are taking is on full display, and some just do not want to be involved in it. But we've got this infighting happening, this throwing under the bus, this argy-bargy. So my question is about the Cuban takeover. So pretty much what is happening is that Cuba is under siege by the regime. I'm not going to say the US, I'm just going to say by the regime. The fact that no oil is getting to the island of Cuba means that goods and produce cannot be moved around, that there is very little electricity generation. Gee, how about a big boat full of solar panels? Would be really good, and wind turbines would be really good. Basically under siege and starving, and the healthcare, etc., but pretty much under siege by the US regime and trying to starve out the people. There is discussions, I believe, about what do they call it, a friendly takeover. I don't even think I noted it down, but just, yeah, right. Okay. So what have we got here? Well, this is the regime thinking that they've got their cups all lined up in order. This was the Shield of America meeting under Nome. Yeah, that was obviously pre-planned, considering she was fired, and literally the next day she was down there chairing the Shield of America's meeting. But it is nothing more than a bullying, abuse of power and betrayal that certain members of Latin America and Southern America on the continent, some very big members, are saying, we want no part of this. It is an obvious bully tactic, abuse of power, betrayal, deceit, lying, win at any cost. Okay, so there are some really big players there who want no part of it. I noticed that a lot of the countries that I mentioned that attended are smaller countries. Yes, Argentina and Chile are larger, but the rest of them are pretty small. Middle and South American countries, and Trinidad and Tobago, pretty much not much more than an island. Okay, so let's have a look. This threat of a Cuban takeover. I'm using my Smith-Waite Tarot deck. Is there going to be an invasion, an attack, an attempted takeover of Cuba while the world is distracted by the Middle East? Is there going to be? Oh, I noticed Venezuela's not in either camp. Didn't go, so Venezuela didn't go. Okay, that's interesting. Because basically what I did was I noted down all who went and then went through the countries of Middle and South America and picked out the biggest ones that didn't go. So the big ones: Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, all didn't go. So let's have a look. Wanted no part of it. Let's have a look. Is the regime, I mean, we know Narco Rubio, and I have to laugh, I notice that name's taken off. Narco Rubio is busting his britches to try and take over Cuba as a revenge for his parents having to give up all their assets and flee. It's a personal vendetta by Rubio. Not saying that the government of Cuba's the regime in Cuba are nice at all, but yeah, this is a personal vendetta. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Is the regime busting? Let's have a look. Sorry about the long verbal. Yeah, my way or the highway, control, emperor, you will do as I say, dictatorship, you name it. So the energy is this emperor energy. Um, challenged by the Ace of Cups. Okay, that's interesting. New partnerships, but partnerships of peace. Okay. And a lot of these I notice are the big oil countries as well. I know Guyana is in with the Shield of Americas, but a lot of the big oil countries down in Middle and Southern Americas in the continent are not interested. So challenged by this cup, bringing the dove of peace. Okay. Oh, I bet that goes over well with the Emperor. Not. The energy that they're stewing in at the moment is the regime. The Hierophant, so we've got the Emperor and the Hierophant. The regime, pretty much making some sort of order or control or, yeah, those two cards pretty much go together. Okay, but being challenged by this Ace of Cups in the past, working together behind the scenes, some sort of dark plots, dark money. Oh boy, yeah, I just think this is just secret dark plotting behind the scenes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's all to do with strangling the finances of Cuba. Okay. It's also about money as well. We know the likes of the Cushion Cough and Rubio, etc. They're all eyeing it off as this paradise. You know, dark money plotting basically behind the scenes. Okay, thank you. To build. So because this figure here is building. So yeah, and got plans in his hand there, development plans. Yeah, we know. We know. It's as prominent as the nose on your face. Okay, crowning this though, we've got the Ten of Cups. The pretend happy, no, I'm not even getting the pretend happy family. This feels like the other countries coming together in unity. This is about a unity of diversity. Feels like the other countries coming together. Let's see where this goes. Yep, the Fool, absolutely. Off the cliff, uncharted waters. So, yeah, new beginnings, new start. So this empirical energy with this dictator and this past, it's almost like it's going to blow over before it even becomes a plan. It's like the inaugural meeting of the Shield of Americas will also be the last meeting of the Shield of Americas. Okay, externally, the Six of Cups, the gift from the past, going back to a simpler time externally. This is also about naivety about the past. The naivety about the past here, externally, in regards to this reason they're going off the cliff. I just heard that the stories that Narco was told during his upbringing weren't necessarily accurate. Let me put it that way. There's a naivety about the past here, externally. And if they're not necessarily accurate, they were lies. They were stretching the truth. Yeah, I'm thinking Narco was not necessarily brought up with reality in regards to this. Okay, internally we've got the Queen of Swords and an internal strategy. It can simply be a legal action being taken going into the future. Let's see where this goes. Hopes and fears, the Six of Swords, fleeing, but moving from troubled waters to calm waters, the Swords of Truth being moved forward under. I'm wondering whether the other countries are having their own meeting to move this forward legally out of troubled waters. Okay, the outcome, the Knight of Wands, volatile information being brought forward. That means an inability to move forward, but this is also volatility in the Middle East, means that an inability to move forward. The Four of Pentacles, trying to hold on to the plan, trying to hold on to, desperately trying to hold on, but ending up with the Five of Pentacles out in the cold and being forced to walk away. Being forced to walk away, and then the hidden agenda being revealed and a new plan being brought forward. I'm really getting, so we've got the inability to harvest, an investigation, and an ending of this oligarchical legacy, or this plan, an ending of this stupidity that's this vendetta. Yeah, I don't think, I think the stories that Rubio heard at the knee were not necessarily accurate. As I split the deck, not necessarily accurate. There might have been some truth in it, but I think there was a lot that was not. Okay, what I want to have a look at is, oh, I got some cards. Oh gosh, that one's too nova. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Are these countries that, okay, tell me about the future of the Shield of America. Shield of Americas. Trying to bring forward the Don Roe doctrine, which was 200 year ago, ruling or something that was to stop European nations. Sorry, eyes are itchy. They will clear up. I've been told they'll get worse before they get better for the next couple of days. Was to prevent the fighting over colonization by European countries. I'm talking Spain, Portugal, France, etc., of the Americas. It wasn't written for the US to take over all the Americas. It was to prevent takeovers. Roll my eyes. Show me the future of the Shield of the Americas, because I'm really getting the inaugural meeting is going to be the final meeting. Show me the future of the Shield of Americas. Okay, card jumped out at me. Oh, that's Bindi coming for a afternoon tea cuddle. Yes, I know. I'll get to it shortly. So we've got this false victory. So this claim of victory, claim of success, but you've got all the figures standing in the background going, huh? Really? What? That's not, we took away from it. So there's going to be some sort of claim of success there, challenged by the reality, the Sword of Truth cutting through, challenged by this. I keep getting as well the Sword of Truth cutting through the crown here. I keep getting that the regime wants to set up the US as the supreme ruler of the Americas, but you've got the likes of Milei and Bukele, etc., going, no, I want to be the supreme leader, you know, from Argentina and Chile, etc., and the Ecuadorian guy, can't remember what his name is, you know, who just had the fudgy election. They're all going, no, No, either one. So, yeah, might not be as smooth as they think. So we've got this sort of truth cutting through this crown. Okay. Disappointment, loss at the bottom, the Five of Cups, the energy that it's stewing in. It did not go as expected, is what I'm getting there. Some are feeling like they lost out on whatever was discussed and decided. So the Shield of Americas, this naivety about the gift from the past here. Yeah, you know, a naivety about the gift giving. Oh, we gave Argentina, what was it, 20 million, 40, no, billion, 40 billion or whatever it was. So therefore, Argentina, the regime should be, no. There is naivety here about the gifts that were given in the past, Crowning the reading, Wheel of Fortune turning, those that thought they were on top ending up on the bottom, and I think the inaugural meeting is going to be the last meeting with the immediate future, the Eight of Swords. This is very possibly Gnome finding herself quite severely restricted, potentially legally in regards to this. I'm looking at these swords surrounding as the other countries, potentially taking international legal action because they want to be top dog. Let's see where it goes. Externally, a show of strengths, trying to tame the beast. Internally, the hermit, but ending up with isolation and struggling to find a path forward. Hopes and fears. It was all smoke and mirrors and blow some smoke up your backside type thing. There were these false promises that were made about glory and money and fame and all the rest of it. Okay, the outcome, we've got the Star. They all want to be the star. Every single one of them wants to be the star. The Queen of Cups trying to keep it all under control, keep a lid on things. But yeah, there's the squabbly fighty card, the Seven of Pentacles, and then a Seven of Wands, sorry, and then the Judgment card. Big wake up call, and then the Death card, ending of it, ending of this empirical whatever. And then you've got the coming together and actually working together under the female leaders. Shinebaum, potentially Rodriguez. De Silva has very much feminine energy, even though he's a bloke. Interesting energy there. The Knight of Swords, rash action, didn't think it through. Page of Cups, unexpected messaging being returned, and an inability to harvest what was planted. I keep getting the inaugural meeting is also going to be the last meeting. They're not going to come to agreement. It's not going to work. Is what I kept getting. Okay, these countries that weren't involved: Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Honduras, Panama, Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, a lot of the islands, and this walking away from this abuse of power. And yeah, it's going down, it's ending. Again, this Shield of Americas, no. Dictators don't like being dictated to. And Venezuela, those that are, and it's just, collapse of this Shield of Americas. Of course, Nome will get the blame for it, but it was a stupid idea in the first place. These countries that weren't involved: Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Honduras, Panama, Nicaragua, etc., and so forth. What is the future looking like for them? What is the future looking like for them? Are they going to come together as a counteraction? Come on down. So this popped out. This is the King of Wands. This is a strength energy, bringing forward a new plan, a new idea, bringing forward the Ace of Wands, but it's also got the salamander on here. So if you cut the arm or tail off the salamander, it regrows again. So this is about regrowth, growth and regrowth, a plan. Challenged by this naivety about the offer in the past. So, yeah, these other countries, they're feeling challenged by what the regime is offering. But you've got the lovers here. I mean, the lovers can be an unbalanced relationship, but it is also contracts, agreements, working together. In the past, we got the Queen of Swords, and she's looking towards the future. So this is a internal strategy, legal strategy. And then you've got the Page of Swords, youthful energy. But this, I think there's going to be new contracts and agreements that come forward to bring stability to the region with the Knight of Pentacles. It's externally not done yet. Two of Swords here. Internally, got to combat this infighting. This could also be legal action to block this internal argy-bargy infighting. Let's see where this goes. Uncharted waters, new beginning as certain elements go off the cliff. And the Empress, growth and prosperity, feminine energy bringing growth and prosperity. There is a plan being formulated on the world stage. So this is part of this shift in world energies. And the Hermit. The Hermit, it's going to be difficult for a while with that Ten of Swords, chaotic, burdensome, but there will be balance restored with the Temperance card. So you've got this upheaval. On the bottom, you've got the Moon, the lunacy, but then you've got the Ace of Wands, a new plan coming forward, exposing hidden agendas with the High Priestess and manifesting a new financial beginning. So I think the countries not involved are actually going to form their own bloc, and they are actually a more powerful, more, I'm going to say functional, but also financially well-off liquid mob than the ones under Shield of Americas. So that's positive. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. The fiasco in the Middle East is going to spill over into what's happening in the Americas in a way that's not going to work out well for the regime. Okay, just going to leave it there. Love to you all. Take care.